In a world of endless noise and distraction, where our phones buzz more than our hearts, have you ever stopped to wonder, what would silence teach you? The world today is relentless, demanding more, expecting faster, and drowning us in chaos. Yet, amidst all this noise lies a secret weapon that the greatest thinkers and philosophers have always embraced: solitude. As Buddha once said, loneliness is the poverty of self. Solitude is the richness of self. But let's be honest, when was the last time you truly felt connected to your purpose? How often do you find yourself running on autopilot, overwhelmed by the expectations of others, losing sight of what really matters? Here's the truth. Being alone is a superpower only few can handle. It's not about isolation, it's about liberation. And if you're going to get anything out of this video, just get this. Solitude is the key to unlocking your greatest potential. That's all you need to know in life. This video isn't about preaching another self-help mantra. It's about uncovering 10 timeless Buddhist principles that will shatter the myth that being alone is a weakness. Instead, you'll see why solitude is the key to finding clarity, confidence, and unshakable strength. Think about it. How often have you been so caught up in the noise of life that you couldn't hear your own thoughts? How many times have you been pulled in every direction except the one that truly matters? Don't miss a single principle, because even one could be the moment of awakening you've been waiting for. Ready to take back control of your mind and life? Stay with me. Your journey to unlocking your greatest potential starts right here. Lesson 1. Embrace solitude for self-discovery. When was the last time you truly sat with yourself? Not your phone, not your to-do list, just you. In the whirlwind of modern life, we're often surrounded by noise, voices telling us who to be, what to want, and how to live. But have you ever wondered who you are beneath it all? Solitude, in the words of Buddhist wisdom, is not loneliness. It is an opportunity for self-discovery. The Buddha himself often retreated into solitude, not to escape the world, but to understand it better by first understanding himself. He believed that in stillness, the soul finds its voice. Solitude is where you strip away the labels society places on you, uncovering the essence of your true self. It's in these quiet moments that clarity emerges. Clarity about your deepest desires, your values, and your purpose. Yet in today's fast-paced, hyper-connected world, solitude feels elusive, even uncomfortable. Our phones buzz with notifications, and we're told that busyness is a badge of honor. But here's the truth. The constant noise is a distraction from what matters most: you. Solitude acts as a mirror, reflecting back the truth of who you are when no one else is watching. Think about this. When was the last time you asked yourself, what do I really want? Not what your boss wants, not what your friends expect, but what you desire. Without moments of stillness, we risk chasing goals that aren't even ours. The path to solitude begins with small, intentional steps. Start by carving out just 5 minutes a day to sit in silence. No music, no screens, just your thoughts. It will feel strange at first, even uncomfortable, but stick with it. Over time, you'll notice something extraordinary. A sense of clarity and peace that can't be found in the noise. Buddhist teachings remind us that solitude isn't about withdrawing from the world, but reconnecting with ourselves so we can engage with life more meaningfully. As the great Buddhist scholar Thich Nhat Hanh once said, "To be beautiful means to be yourself." You don't need to be accepted by others. You need to accept yourself. Solitude teaches us self-acceptance. It allows us to set goals aligned with our true purpose. It's not about running away from the world, but stepping into it with a newfound sense of who you are. So today, I leave you with this challenge. Find a moment of solitude and ask yourself, what do I want my life to stand for? Because the answers that arise in silence could change everything. 2. The Art of Embracing Stillness. When was the last time you allowed yourself to simply be, without striving, without doing, without chasing the next thing? In Buddhist philosophy, stillness is not merely the absence of motion. It is a profound state of being that opens the door to peace and mindfulness. It is in stillness that we reconnect with the present moment and with ourselves. The constant need for action, the endless pursuit of productivity, can leave us feeling disconnected and drained. But what if the key to achieving our goals lies not in doing more, but in learning to pause? The Buddha often taught that stillness is a gateway. Imagine standing before a pond on a windy day. The surface is choppy and you cannot see the bottom. But when the wind dies down, the water becomes clear, revealing everything beneath. This is the power of stillness. It brings clarity where there was once chaos. In today's world, we're conditioned to value action over rest, noise over silence, speed over depth. We celebrate the hustle, but seldom pause to ask if we're moving in the right direction. Stillness, however, is not about laziness or inaction. It's about creating space for reflection, renewal, and focus. It's in those quiet moments that the mind organizes itself. Ideas flow and priorities realign. Consider this. Every morning, the Buddha would sit quietly beneath a tree, embracing stillness before beginning his day. He understood that before we can serve the world, we must first center ourselves. In modern life, this can be as simple as carving out 10 minutes each morning for quiet contemplation. No distractions, no agenda, just you and your breath. Here's how to start. When you wake up tomorrow, resist the urge to check your phone or dive into your to-do list. Instead, sit in a comfortable spot, close your eyes, and take slow, deliberate breaths. Let your thoughts come and go without judgment. As you do this, you'll notice a subtle shift, a calmness, a clarity, a readiness to face the day with purpose. Buddhist wisdom teaches that when we let go of the need for constant action, we gain the power to act with intention. As Thich Nhat Hanh beautifully said, sometimes we need to stop doing and simply be. Stillness isn't just a pause, it's a reset. It allows us to step out of the noise and reconnect with what truly matters. When we embrace stillness, we unlock a deeper strength, enabling us to navigate life's challenges with focus and grace. So ask yourself, what would happen if I gave myself permission to pause today? The answer may lead you closer to the life you've been striving for. 3. Find joy in your own company. Can you remember the last time you genuinely enjoyed your own company? When you felt content, not lonely, just being with yourself? In a world that glorifies connection and constant interaction, we often forget the beauty of solitude. Buddhist philosophy teaches us that joy is not something we find outside. It's something we cultivate within. To be truly at peace, we must first learn to be our own best company. The Buddha often spoke of the importance of self-reliance, urging us to find fulfillment within instead of seeking it in others. Imagine solitude as a sanctuary, a sacred space where you can nurture your creativity, strengthen your resolve, and rediscover who you are. It's not about isolation. It's about embracing the quiet moments that allow you to grow. But today, solitude can feel like an unwelcome companion. Social media bombards us with images of people living their best lives, and we're left wondering if we're missing out. This fear of missing out, FOMO, can drive us to fill every moment with distractions. Yet, what if we flipped the script? What if we replaced FOMO with JOMO, the joy of missing out? Imagine this. You choose to spend an evening alone, not out of obligation, but out of desire. You light a candle, make a cup of tea, and settle into a book you've been meaning to read. There's no pressure to perform, no need to impress anyone. In that moment, you are free. Free to explore your thoughts, your passions, your dreams. The joy of missing out is about understanding that life isn't a race to check off experiences. It's about finding meaning in the present, in the simplicity of being. When you embrace solitude, you create space to reflect and recharge, to hear your own voice above the noise. Here's a simple practice to rediscover joy in your own company. Dedicate one day a week to a self-date. Treat yourself to something you love. A walk in the park, a movie night at home, or a creative project you've been postponing. Turn off your phone, step away from social media, and immerse yourself in the moment. As Buddhist wisdom reminds us, happiness is not found in things or people. It's found in the state of our mind. Solitude, when embraced, becomes a wellspring of inner peace and strength. Thich Nhat Hanh said, "The most precious gift we can offer others is our presence. But first, we must offer that gift to ourselves." So ask yourself, what if I allowed solitude to become my sanctuary? In doing so, you might just discover the joy that's been waiting for you all along. Number 4. Solitude versus loneliness. Have you ever felt alone in a crowded room or completely at peace while sitting by yourself? The difference between solitude and loneliness lies not in the presence or absence of people, but in how we perceive being alone. Buddhist philosophy teaches that solitude is a conscious choice, a space we create to grow, reflect, and connect with our inner selves. Loneliness, on the other hand, is an emotional state tied to disconnection, where we feel lost and incomplete. The poet Paul Tillich beautifully captured this contrast when he said, "Loneliness is the poverty of self. Solitude is its richness." Solitude, when embraced, becomes a fertile ground where creativity blossoms, clarity emerges, and resilience takes root. It is not about avoiding others, but about choosing to be with yourself in a way that nurtures your spirit. Think of the Buddha's journey. He left the distractions of the palace to sit alone under the Bodhi tree, seeking enlightenment. In that solitude, he faced his fears, confronted his desires, and ultimately discovered the truth about life. His solitude was not a rejection of the world, but a preparation to engage with it more fully. In contrast, loneliness often arises from a sense of disconnection, from others and from ourselves. It's the feeling that something is missing, that we are incomplete. But here's the truth. Loneliness doesn't mean you need more people. It often means you need a deeper connection with yourself. So, how do you transform loneliness into solitude? Start by practicing gratitude during your alone time. When you sit in silence, reflect on the things you're thankful for, your health, your passions, your ability to grow. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have, filling your solitude with a sense of richness and fulfillment. Imagine this. You're sitting in your favorite spot at home. The world is quiet, and you take a moment to breathe deeply. Instead of thinking about who isn't there, you think about what is. You feel grateful for the stillness, for the opportunity to recharge, for the freedom to explore your thoughts without interruption. That simple shift in perspective turns aloneness into empowerment. Buddhist wisdom teaches that true fulfillment doesn't come from external sources, but from cultivating a rich inner world. As Thich Nhat Hanh said, "You carry Mother Earth within you, and she is always giving you something to be grateful for." Ask yourself, am I afraid of being alone, or am I afraid of meeting myself? When you embrace solitude as an opportunity, you'll find that the richness within is far greater than anything you could seek outside. 5. Use solitude to manage stress. How often do you pause during a stressful day and just breathe? In the rush of daily life, stress becomes a constant companion. Deadlines, expectations, and the endless demands of modern living leave us feeling overwhelmed. But Buddhist wisdom offers a simple yet profound solution. Solitude. Quiet moments are not a luxury. They are a necessity for managing stress and finding balance. Science now confirms what Buddhist philosophy has taught for centuries. Solitude provides the mind with a chance to reset. It reduces cortisol, the stress hormone, and calms the nervous system, creating a space where clarity and peace can thrive. In solitude, you're not running from your problems. You're creating a sanctuary where you can approach them with renewed strength and focus. Imagine this. The Buddha often retreated to nature, sitting in stillness beneath a tree. It was in these moments of solitude that he found the tools to navigate the challenges of life. He didn't avoid stress. He transformed it by grounding himself in the present moment. You can do the same. When stress builds up, your mind races with what-ifs and should-haves, pulling you away from the present. Solitude helps you return to now, the only moment you can truly control. By focusing on your breath, you anchor yourself, calming the chaos within. Here's a simple practice to incorporate into your day. Take 5 minutes to sit quietly and focus on your breathing. Inhale deeply for a count of 4, hold for 4, and exhale for 6. As you do this, visualize your stress leaving your body with each exhale. Let your thoughts come and go without judgment. This isn't about clearing your mind, it's about giving it room to breathe. When you make this a daily ritual, something amazing happens. You start to approach challenges with a calmer, more focused mindset. You become less reactive and more intentional. Stress loses its grip, and you gain the clarity to prioritize what truly matters. Buddhist teachings remind us that suffering often comes not from the events in our lives, but from our reaction to them. In solitude, we cultivate the mindfulness needed to respond, not react. Thich Nhat Hanh said it best: "Feelings come and go like clouds in a windy sky. Conscious breathing is my anchor. Stress will always be a part of life, but solitude can be your refuge." Ask yourself, when was the last time I truly paused and let myself just be? In those moments of stillness, you'll discover a power within you stronger than any external storm. 6. Use alone time for creative pursuits. When was the last time you let your mind wander without interruptions? Solitude is not just a moment of peace, it's a gateway to creativity. Throughout history, great thinkers, artists, and philosophers have turned to solitude to unlock their best ideas. The Buddha, too, found enlightenment in the quiet stillness beneath the Bodhi tree. Without the distractions of the world, the mind has the freedom to roam, to connect seemingly unrelated ideas, and to discover solutions hidden beneath the surface of daily life. Think of solitude as fertile soil for your imagination. In the silence, your thoughts can take root and grow. Without the constant pull of notifications or the noise of everyday life, creativity flourishes. It's in these moments that a painter finds inspiration, a writer discovers a story, or a thinker develops a groundbreaking idea. Consider this: Albert Einstein credited his most revolutionary thoughts to moments of deep reflection, often achieved in solitude. He believed that creativity thrived in quiet contemplation. And he wasn't alone. Many of history's greatest minds, Leonardo da Vinci, Virginia Woolf, Nikola Tesla, understood that stepping away from the crowd allowed their inner genius to emerge. In today's hyper-connected world, however, solitude feels like a rare commodity. The distractions are endless, and the pressure to stay constantly on can be overwhelming. But here's the truth: Carving out time for yourself isn't selfish, it's essential. Your most creative and impactful work often comes when you give yourself the space to dream, experiment, and create. So how do you harness the power of solitude for creative pursuits? Start by dedicating 1 hour a week to distraction-free creativity. Find a quiet space, turn off your phone, and immerse yourself in a passion, whether it's painting, writing, brainstorming ideas, or simply letting your thoughts flow onto a blank page. During this time, let go of perfection and focus on the joy of creation. Buddhist wisdom teaches that creativity arises when the mind is at ease. Thich Nhat Hanh once said, "In true silence, creativity is born." Solitude allows you to access this silence, transforming it into a canvas where your ideas can unfold. The next time you feel stuck or uninspired, step away from the noise and embrace the quiet. Ask yourself, what could I create if I gave myself the freedom to explore? In those moments, you'll find that solitude isn't an empty space. It's a sanctuary where your best ideas come to life. Creativity begins when distractions end. Your next great idea is waiting in the silence. Will you give it the space it needs? 7. Cultivate focus through solitude. Have you ever tried to focus on something important only to be pulled in a dozen directions by distractions? In a world filled with interruptions, solitude is a rare gift. It's in these moments of quiet that we discover the power of true focus. Buddhist philosophy teaches us that concentration is not merely about effort, it's about presence. The Buddha said, "Focus on one thing. Let it be 1,000 things in that moment." This wisdom reminds us that when we give our full attention to a single task, we unlock our greatest potential. Think about the times you've been most productive or deeply immersed in a project. Chances are you were alone, free from the noise of the outside world. Solitude sharpens our attention and builds discipline, enabling us to make meaningful progress toward our goals. Without distractions, we can dive deeply into our work, giving it the care and precision it deserves. Consider the story of a monk meditating in a quiet forest. His focus is unwavering, his mind undistracted by the rustling leaves or distant sounds. This intense concentration, cultivated in solitude, allows him to achieve clarity and peace. In the same way, when you embrace solitude, you can channel your energy into what truly matters, turning your goals into reality. Modern life, however, makes focus a challenge. Notifications, emails, and constant demands vie for our attention, fragmenting our thoughts. But solitude offers an antidote. It creates a space where you can step away from the noise, set clear intentions, and work with purpose. Here's how to use solitude to cultivate focus. Start by dedicating a block of uninterrupted time each day to a single task. Turn off your phone, close unnecessary tabs, and create a quiet environment. Before you begin, set a clear goal for what you want to accomplish. During this time, remind yourself of the Buddhist teaching to be fully present. Let your work be the only thing that exists in that moment. As you practice this, you'll notice a shift. Tasks that once seemed overwhelming become manageable. Your mind feels clearer, your progress more tangible. This disciplined focus, honed in solitude, becomes a habit that spills over into every area of your life. Buddhist wisdom reminds us that the mind, when undistracted, is like a steady flame. It doesn't waver, even in the wind. Ask yourself, what could I achieve if I gave my full attention to one thing today? In the silence of solitude, you'll find not only focus, but also the power to turn your ambitions into accomplishments. The absence of distractions isn't empty, it's full of possibility. All you need to do is embrace it. 8. Solitude as emotional healing. When was the last time you truly sat with your emotions without trying to escape or distract yourself? In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to push our emotions aside and keep moving forward. We hide behind our busyness, hoping that the emotional pain will eventually fade. But Buddhist wisdom offers a powerful alternative: solitude as a means of emotional healing. In solitude, we find the space to face our feelings head-on, to sit with our discomfort, and ultimately to transform it. The Buddha once said, "Sit with your pain, and you will learn to transform it." This simple yet profound teaching encourages us to embrace the full spectrum of our emotions rather than running from them. Emotional healing doesn't come from ignoring pain or seeking distractions. It comes from being present with it, allowing ourselves the time and space to process and release what no longer serves us. Think of solitude as a sanctuary for your heart and mind. Just as a wound needs a quiet space to heal, our emotions need solitude to process and transform. When we're alone, we can be honest with ourselves, uncover the root of our pain, and begin to understand what it's teaching us. For example, consider a time when you felt overwhelmed or frustrated. Perhaps you felt angry but didn't know why, or you experienced sadness that lingered without explanation. In the midst of that emotional turmoil, solitude gives you the ability to pause and reflect. When we sit in silence, without the noise of the outside world, we can uncover the deeper truths of our emotions. We can ask ourselves, why am I feeling this way? What is this emotion trying to tell me? Journaling is a practical tool you can use during these moments of solitude. By writing down your thoughts and feelings, you release emotional burdens and bring clarity to what's inside. It's as if you're giving your emotions a voice, allowing them to be seen and heard. This practice of writing becomes an act of emotional liberation, helping you work through complex feelings and find peace. Buddhist teachings remind us that discomfort is not something to avoid, but something to learn from. Pain is a part of life, but how we handle it determines our growth. Thich Nhat Hanh once said, "The lotus grows in the mud." Just as the lotus emerges beautifully from the darkness of the mud, we too can grow from our emotional struggles when we allow ourselves to process them. Ask yourself, what emotions am I avoiding, and how can I use solitude to heal and grow from them? In the quiet of solitude, you'll discover that emotional healing isn't about erasing pain. It's about understanding it, learning from it, and emerging stronger than before. 9. Develop resilience through solitude. How often do you find yourself relying on others to find strength in tough times? Life's challenges can feel overwhelming, especially when we're surrounded by constant noise and distractions. We often look for external sources of strength, friends, family, even the validation of social media, hoping these will help us overcome adversity. But Buddhist philosophy teaches us something different. True resilience is cultivated in solitude. It is in those quiet, alone moments that we discover our own strength and mental toughness. The Buddha, during his years of meditation, often faced physical and emotional struggles. Yet, in solitude, he found a deep well of inner strength, learning that the path to resilience is not about relying on the world around us, but developing the courage and confidence within. Solitude provides a rare opportunity to turn inward and realize that we have everything we need to face life's storms. Think of resilience as a muscle. Just as lifting weights strengthens your body, moments of solitude strengthen your mind. When we're alone, we're forced to rely on ourselves, which builds self-reliance and fortitude. It's in these moments of quiet reflection that we find our answers. Solitude teaches us that we are not helpless. We have the power to face challenges head-on without depending on others to provide the strength we already possess. Imagine facing a difficult situation. whether it's a personal challenge, a career setback, or a family issue. In solitude, rather than reacting with fear or anxiety, you can take a step back, center yourself, and find the courage to approach the problem with clarity. In those moments of silence, you can practice affirmations, reminding yourself that you are capable. I am strong. I am resilient. I can overcome this. Buddhist teachings encourage us to see challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities for growth. Thich Nhat Hanh beautifully put it, "The wound is the place where the light enters you." In solitude, we come face to face with our wounds, the struggles and difficulties of life. But it is through these very experiences that we build resilience. One practical way to harness the power of solitude for resilience is through visualization. Spend a few minutes each day imagining yourself overcoming obstacles, standing strong despite challenges. See yourself pushing through difficulties with calm and confidence. This practice can help you strengthen your mental toughness, making it easier to handle adversity when it arises. So ask yourself, what challenge am I facing right now that I can approach with inner strength? Solitude is not a place of weakness. It is the birthplace of resilience. In the silence, you'll find the courage to face life's toughest moments with the knowledge that you are more powerful than you ever imagined. 10. The path to mindfulness. When was the last time you truly experienced the present moment without thinking about the past or worrying about the future? In the rush of daily life, it's easy to lose touch with the present moment. We're often consumed by the noise of our surroundings, distracted by our thoughts, or overwhelmed by tasks. But Buddhist wisdom teaches us that the present moment is the only one we truly live in. The present moment is the only moment we truly live, the Buddha said. And it is in solitude where we can truly embrace this teaching, finding a powerful gateway to mindfulness. Mindfulness isn't just about paying attention. It's about being fully aware of where you are and what you're doing, free from distractions. When we're constantly surrounded by external noise, it's hard to center ourselves. But solitude offers us a unique opportunity to focus our attention and anchor ourselves in the now. It's in these quiet moments that we can truly listen to the world around us, tune into our breath, and reconnect with our deepest thoughts and feelings. Imagine walking through a forest, the wind gently rustling the leaves, the smell of fresh earth in the air. In the solitude of nature, every sound, every sensation becomes more vivid, more alive. In these moments, your awareness sharpens, and you begin to experience life more fully. This is the essence of mindfulness, being deeply present in the moment, not distracted by what's happened before or what might happen next. To cultivate mindfulness in your own life, use moments of solitude as opportunities to focus on your sensory experiences. Whether you're sitting in stillness or walking through your day, take a few moments to focus on your breath, the feeling of the air against your skin, or the sounds around you. These small acts of attention help ground you in the present, reminding you that this moment is all you truly have. Buddhist practices emphasize that mindfulness is a way to free the mind from the clutter of the past and the worries of the future. When we are fully present, we can experience life more fully, making better decisions and finding peace even in the midst of chaos. This is why solitude is such a powerful tool. It gives us the space to practice mindfulness without the interference of external distractions. As you move through your day, ask yourself, am I truly present in this moment? When we begin to anchor ourselves in the here and now, life becomes richer, more meaningful. Solitude doesn't just provide quiet, it provides clarity. So take the time to be still, breathe, and observe. In those moments, you'll find a deep sense of peace and connection to the world around you. Mindfulness, rooted in solitude, opens the door to a life fully lived. 11. Aligning solitude with purpose. When was the last time you truly asked yourself, am I living authentically? In the midst of daily life, it's easy to lose sight of our deeper purpose. We get caught up in routines, expectations, and distractions, often moving through life on autopilot. But in Buddhism, solitude is seen as a sacred space, a time to reflect, to reconnect with ourselves, and to align with our true purpose. When we take the time to be alone, we can ask the important questions. Am I living authentically? Am I pursuing the goals that truly matter to me? The Buddha's teachings remind us that the path to enlightenment is not just about external accomplishments, but about aligning with our inner truth. When we allow ourselves to be still, without distractions, we can begin to listen to our inner voice, the voice that guides us toward the life we are meant to live. Solitude becomes a tool to assess whether the life we're leading is in harmony with our deeper values, passions, and purpose. Imagine a time when you felt a deep sense of fulfillment, maybe after accomplishing something that truly aligned with who you are. That feeling didn't come from chasing someone else's idea of success. It came from following your own path. Now, imagine having the space to reflect on this regularly, checking in with yourself to see if the direction you're heading in is still aligned with your true desires. Solitude offers us this unique opportunity. It gives us the quiet space to step back from the noise of the world and evaluate our choices. Without the pressures of external expectations, we can be honest with ourselves. Are we pursuing goals that excite us? Are we acting out of alignment with our true values? Are we simply moving through life, or are we living with purpose? In Buddhist philosophy, living authentically is seen as one of the keys to lasting peace and fulfillment. The Buddha taught that we must cultivate right intention, a commitment to act in accordance with our deepest values. Solitude allows us to ask ourselves whether we are on the right path, or if we need to make changes in our approach to life. A practical action step for aligning solitude with purpose is to spend quiet evenings reflecting on your goals. Take time each week or month to review where you are and whether your current path aligns with your purpose. Ask yourself questions like, what do I truly want from life? Are my actions in line with my values? How can I course correct to ensure I'm moving in the direction of my dreams? This quiet reflection allows you to make adjustments in real time, ensuring that your actions are always in alignment with your growth. Just like an artist steps back from the canvas to see the bigger picture, solitude offers you the opportunity to step back from your life and make intentional, purposeful decisions. So, I ask you now, are you living authentically? Is your life moving in the direction that resonates with your true purpose? When you use solitude as a time for reflection, to recalibrate and realign, you are not just achieving goals, you're living a life that truly matters. And that is where true fulfillment lies. 12. Turn solitude into spiritual growth. Have you ever wondered how moments of silence can transform your life and bring you closer to your true essence? In a world filled with constant noise and distractions, solitude can often feel like a rare and precious gift. While many view being alone as an empty space, Buddhist philosophy teaches us that it is in solitude where we can find the deepest connection to our spiritual selves. Alone time isn't just about silence. It's about using that silence to deepen our spiritual growth and experience a profound sense of inner peace. Buddhism teaches that solitude is not merely an absence of company. It's a powerful tool for personal and spiritual development. The Buddha himself spent many years in solitude, meditating under the Bodhi tree, seeking the path to enlightenment. He recognized that in the stillness of solitude, one could gain the clarity needed to uncover the deepest truths of life. It's in these moments, far from the hustle and bustle of everyday life, that we come closest to our true spiritual nature. Imagine the sense of peace that washes over you when you take a moment to pause, breathe, and simply be. It's in these still, quiet moments that you can reconnect with yourself on a soul-deep level. Solitude, when embraced as a space for spiritual growth, transforms from something we fear into something we cherish. It is through this space that we come closer to the essence of who we truly are and what we are meant to become. The key to turning solitude into a tool for spiritual growth lies in how we use our alone time. Buddhism teaches that practices such as meditation and mantra chanting can deepen our connection to the present moment and enhance our spiritual awareness. These practices help quiet the mind and bring us back to our true essence. Meditation, for example, allows us to tune into the rhythms of our breath, calming the mind and soothing the soul. By focusing our attention inward, we can create a sense of peace that radiates throughout our entire being. Mantra chanting is another powerful tool used in Buddhism to elevate the spiritual experience. When repeated with intention, mantras help guide our mind toward enlightenment and compassion. By incorporating these practices into moments of solitude, we turn alone time into a rich spiritual journey, one that leads to personal growth and inner transformation. As you embrace solitude, think of it not as a moment of isolation, but as an opportunity for spiritual evolution. Allow the silence to be a space where you connect to your higher self, reflect on your purpose, and align your actions with your spiritual truths. Through regular meditation or mantra chanting, you'll find yourself growing in peace, wisdom, and clarity. You'll see that solitude isn't simply a time to be alone. It's a time to deepen your spiritual connection and unlock the power within. So, ask yourself, am I using my alone time to nurture my spiritual growth? When we choose to embrace solitude in this way, we turn it into a gateway to enlightenment, a path that leads to profound peace and wisdom. In this stillness, we find our true selves and experience the spiritual growth that ultimately guides us to live a life of purpose and fulfillment. Bonus Lesson 1. Enhance problem-solving skills. Have you ever noticed that some of your best ideas or solutions come when you're alone, in a quiet space, away from the distractions of daily life? In the rush of modern life, we often find ourselves constantly surrounded by noise, whether it's from the people around us, the media, or even our own overactive minds. In the midst of this chaos, it can feel nearly impossible to think clearly and solve the challenges in front of us. But Buddhism teaches us that solitude, far from being a state of loneliness, is an invaluable tool for sharpening our problem-solving skills. Alone, in the silence, we are able to step back from the chaos and approach challenges with a fresh perspective. When we are alone, we are given the precious gift of space. Space to think, reflect, and evaluate the problems we face. The noise and distractions fade away, allowing us to focus on the task at hand with greater clarity. Buddhist philosophy emphasizes mindfulness, the practice of being fully present in the moment, and this is exactly what we need when it comes to solving problems. By embracing solitude, we are more able to be mindful, deliberate, and focused on finding solutions. Think about a time when you were struggling with a problem. Perhaps it was a work-related issue, a personal dilemma, or a decision you needed to make. When you finally took a step back and spent some time alone, something shifted. The solution came to you almost effortlessly, as if the noise in your mind had cleared and the path ahead became obvious. This is the power of solitude at work. Buddhist teachings highlight the importance of right view, which is the ability to see things as they truly are, without the distortion of personal biases or distractions. In solitude, we are able to quiet the mind and open ourselves up to clearer, more accurate insights. We no longer rush to conclusions or react impulsively, but rather take the time to reflect deeply on the situation. This type of clarity fosters critical thinking, helping us approach problems with wisdom and confidence. For example, when facing a difficult decision, solitude allows you to pause and ask yourself essential questions. What are the possible outcomes of each choice? How do each of these options align with my values and long-term goals? What is the most effective course of action? These questions can be asked in the stillness, without the rush of external opinions or pressures. The quiet allows you to hear your own thoughts, and more importantly, the deeper wisdom within you. Practical advice. The next time you face a challenging situation, try spending some quiet time alone to think things through. Instead of seeking advice or immediately jumping to conclusions, sit with the problem for a while. Allow your thoughts to settle and give your mind the space to solve the issue without distraction. By incorporating regular moments of solitude into your routine, you can sharpen your problem-solving skills and approach life's challenges with more confidence and clarity. Solitude doesn't just help us reflect, it empowers us to solve problems from a place of inner peace, free from the distractions of the world around us. So, the next time a challenge arises, remember that solitude is not your enemy. It's your most valuable ally in finding the best solution. Bonus Lesson 2. Cultivate independence. Have you ever felt the weight of constantly depending on others for your happiness, decisions, or even your self-worth? What would happen if you could learn to stand strong on your own? In today's world, we often find ourselves turning to others for validation, advice, or support, sometimes to the point where our sense of self becomes intertwined with the people around us. But the Buddhist philosophy teaches us a vital lesson. True independence arises when we learn to stand alone, relying on ourselves for happiness, clarity, and growth. Spending time alone isn't about being isolated. It's about becoming deeply connected to who you are, so that you can grow stronger, more resilient, and self-reliant. Buddhism emphasizes the concept of self-sufficiency, not in a way that rejects relationships or support, but in a way that empowers you to take full responsibility for your life. When we are alone, we learn to navigate our thoughts and emotions, making decisions not based on external pressures, but from a place of inner wisdom. This process teaches us to trust ourselves, to rely on our own strength, and to create our own happiness. Consider this: when you're constantly surrounded by others, it's easy to lose touch with your true desires and needs. The opinions and expectations of others may cloud your judgment, leaving you uncertain about what you truly want. But when you spend time alone, you have the chance to reconnect with yourself, to listen deeply to your own thoughts, and to find clarity in your decisions. You begin to realize that your happiness and success do not depend on anyone else. They come from within you. Buddhist teachings encourage self-reflection, and solitude is the perfect environment to practice this. When you're alone, you can think deeply about your values, your goals, and the kind of person you want to become. You start to ask yourself powerful questions like, what makes me truly happy? Or, what does success look like for me? These are questions that you can only answer in the quiet moments of solitude, away from the influence of others. This independence isn't just about decision-making, it's about taking responsibility for your own emotional well-being. Many of us look to others to fulfill emotional needs, whether it's the need for approval, affection, or comfort. But the Buddhist path teaches that true peace comes from within. Solitude helps you cultivate emotional resilience and strength, allowing you to navigate life's ups and downs without depending on others for validation. Practical tip: to foster this sense of independence, begin spending time alone each day, even if it's just for a few minutes. Use this time to check in with yourself, to reflect on your emotions, your decisions, and your goals. Practice self-affirmation and positive self-talk. Slowly, you will start to rely on your own inner wisdom and find strength in your own company. Through the practice of solitude, you cultivate independence and resilience, ultimately building a strong, self-reliant character that is capable of facing life's challenges with confidence. As you learn to trust yourself and find your own answers, you will realize that you are your own greatest source of happiness and power. And in this independence, you will find the freedom to pursue your goals with clarity and determination. In a world overwhelmed by noise and ceaseless demands, solitude is not a retreat, but a profound act of self-discovery. The lessons from Buddhist philosophy remind us that the power to achieve our goals and find peace lies within, waiting to be unlocked in moments of stillness. Solitude transforms fear into strength, distractions into clarity, and loneliness into empowerment. It is in the quiet that we confront our truest selves, unravel our hidden potential, and craft a life of purpose. When you choose solitude, you're not stepping away from life, you're stepping into the depths of it. The path to inner peace and resilience starts with the courage to be alone. As the Buddha taught, peace comes from within, do not seek it without. The stillness you embrace today could spark the brilliance and fulfillment you've been seeking all along. If these insights have inspired you, like and share this video to spread the power of solitude. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Share your opinion in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to Deep Wisdom for more inspiring Buddhist insights on living a peaceful life.